Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Please tell me that I can't.
Timing. Excellent. Welcome back to the Sports Ranter. Thank you to all of our hosts, Nico, Jake, and Drew, for all being here again today after week one. Thank you to our 20,000 subscribers and our million viewers around the world. Real quick, we're going to be here every Tuesday, 6 p.m., covering your fantasy football lineups, what happened, helping you set your lineups going forward, and just like I said, paying attention to the waiver wire and gaining an edge so that you can tell your friends, families, and neighbors that you are supreme and that you are the master. That's what it is. That's why we're here. Thank you, guys. Crazy week. Just to let you guys know where I'm at in my life. I've never thought I'd OD on football. Obviously, Pop Warner coach for 9-year-olds. That's very, very emotional. Obviously, watching the Panthers is very fucking emotional. Okay, but and fantasy football really is fun emotional. But Jake, I'm gonna pass it to you, cause after everything, we're gonna send it out. I know we're talking fantasy, but my favorite show this year is Hard Knocks Bills, and wow, did it fucking show up on Sunday night. So let's just start there to start off week one. What an incredible outing, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty vocal about it, and my thoughts, on Josh Allen and just how special he is. And honestly, every bit of praise that I've heaped on Josh Allen is equal to Lamar Jackson too. Lamar Jackson is just, these guys. There is not another quarterback in the league that could have done what either of these guys did. And it's just, but the one thing, the one thing with the Bills is like, and the Ravens, like, Lamar Jackson has Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is is no slouch. That guy is an absolute animal. I think we all underestimated him this year in fantasy. I think he's gonna have 15 touchdowns this year. I think he's gonna go off. But it was great to see them target Keon Coleman. It seems like Buffalo constantly is that offense is constantly taking these kind of mediocre guys, I feel like, and getting it done. So defense, looked a little suspect at times. And don't get me wrong, Buffalo got some that lucky tip pass and then the Derrick Henry fumble and all that stuff. I think when both teams woke up, on Tuesday morning, or I'm sorry, Monday morning, it was like the Bills definitely felt lucky and a little bit of luck, and the Ravens probably felt like they let one slip away that they should have had. But that's football. And I have Josh Allen in 2 leagues, and he single-handedly, man, he just the guy is worth a first-round pick. I'm sorry, him and Lamar both late first, early second. You just, especially in my league with the way the scoring is with the 6-point touchdown passes, it's just those guys they're just lock, stock, and barrel automatic. And so it was great to see. It's one of those games of the decade.
I'm glad you said that, because when watching that game with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I was watching it at work, the 40-point game. I was like, me and my late quarterback bullshit. Straight up, like, man, that would have helped me in a week where I lose by 1 point. The week that Xavier Worthy puts up goose eggs. It's like, you go through all these scenarios and what you do because you think, whatever, dude. But anyways, back to fantasy, you guys. Andrew, thank you for joining us and making some time for us here today. We have a great show on Sunday, guys, with some live reaction. It really has a good energy. So we're going to try to keep that going. A quick 20-minute, 30-minute show on Sundays before Sunday Night Football. But Drew, let's get our viewers set up. What can we see? What can we anticipate? Panic, don't panic. Quarterback, waiver wire. Where are we going? Let's go.
Oh man, there's actually some room for some skepticism. There's always that thought where it's like some regret, right? Some draft regret or this, that, and the other. Maybe I should have took this guy instead of this guy. For me, it's we'll start with the quarterbacks. There's a few guys out there that are interesting, and I know I'm gonna get some eye rolls for sure. Um,
Don't
but
say it.
I mean, Justin Fields is there. I mean, the guy puts up good numbers every single time he plays. He's been a top 12 quarterback in this league already. Actually, probably
Dude.
top five before. Um, and then there's the other guy, Daniel Jones. I'm not saying
I
you need to
knew it.
start.
I knew it.
I'm not saying you need to start these guys every week. Okay. I'm not saying you need to start these guys every week. I'm saying look at your matchups on your quarterbacks that you drafted. And if
Right.
if it's a matchup base where it makes sense, don't be scared to pull the trigger. Dude, Daniel Jones has been a good fantasy quarterback when he plays. Yes, he's not a great NFL quarterback, but fantasy quarterback, he can make plays. Same thing with Fields. Fields hasn't been a great quality quarterback, but the dude has balled out for fantasy. We've seen it before.
100%.
And the thing though is the thing for me with Justin Fields in particular is he didn't run it a bunch and he still had a very effective game. He was actually doing he was very impressive to me. Um but like I said, it's just one of those things where you can stash a quarterback here and there. A lot of people are gonna be dumping Jared Goff and this, that, and the other. We all know, everybody on this podcast knows Jared Goff's not that great on the road, but at home, he's an absolute monster. And I know they don't have Ben Johnson anymore and this, that, and the other, but that's going to be an overreaction. If somebody's dropping Jared Goff, look to stash him on your bench on a matchup play. Drake May, okay? Drake May is a great person to be on your bench. He had 270 yards passing. Guess what? He only had 11 yards rushing. Drake May last year was running very effectively. Just one game, and people are going to be on the drop watch because they're going to try to add somebody else. Okay, we're going to the running backs. Um, Running backs, surprisingly, no real studs got hurt. Okay, there's no big, oh my gosh, I gotta stash this guy or this, that, and the other. Um, but the alarming thing was Ken Walker barely got playing time. Um, Zach Charbonnet outsnapped him. I'm a Niner fan. I was watching that game, and Charbonnet looked better than Ken Walker. Just obviously Travis Etienne, right? If you have Travis Etienne, guess what? You just got a home run because they just traded Trent Bigsby. So Travis Etienne is a extreme like stash, and he's somebody that you might be able to
Only
like.
for week one, I promise.
No. I doubt that
No
because
way.
I doubt that. But
Ridiculous.
He looked great.
with that said, Tootin, their backup running back, is somebody that you should look to have on the waiver. Okay, Tootin is somebody that you should look to have because they do like using two running backs there.
Bigsby got traded.
Bigsby's gone. Bigsby's on the Eagles, and he's gonna be left for dead. So if you have Bigsby, guess what? You should probably drop Bigsby. Um, the other guys I'm trying to think of, Dylan Sampson. It's scary because they just signed Judkins yet, and he hasn't played. But with that said, the receiving back wise, if you're in a PPR league, Dylan Sampson is something to look out for. He had like 6 or 7 catches, very very productive in the backfield there with the passing game. In general, I don't think the Falcon or the Browns have a real like who knows what's going to be their kind of guy. It looks like Joe Flacco's just checking it down to anybody who's open, and that's their game plan. So there's a bunch of different things as far as receivers go. Kayshon Boutte, Patriots just released Kendrick Bourne. He's on the Niners. So there's just more and more of a playing field for Kayshon Boutte. He had over 100 yards, 8 targets, and 6 catches. Um, Obviously, we all know it's one of those things we're going to roll our eyes at, but Quentin Johnson, somebody to look into. Passing volume wise, he's somebody to look into, bro. 2 touchdowns, and it looks and it if it's
You
just
guys can start them all you want.
it's just week one. It's just week one, but it looks like they're threading the needle with Justin Herbert now.
We're gonna
Jim Harbaugh's there, and he's like, "Hey, dude, this passing volume situation, I think it's going to be a real situation. They got a lot of weapons there now, like they didn't have last year, and it looks like they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. And if I'm a defense, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on Keenan Allen, and I'm going to keep my eyes on Ladd McConkey. And guess what? Quentin Johnson might burn me every once in a while. Might drop it, that's for sure. But he might catch it every once in a blue moon. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna live with those. But
fantastic.
it just there's a lot of things right now, not to overhype or not to over get to this, that, and the other. The biggest thing is the tight end. Um, is Brock Bowers fully healthy or not? We still don't truly know. Um, George Kittle, obviously, he's on the IR, so you have to get a new tight end if you're a George Kittle owner.
1 point
Um,
Andrews.
Mark Andrews looks like dog shit. So there's a lot of people that you're gonna want to keep an eye on for the tight end. I think for me personally, I think that's the biggest market this week is who's gonna be your long term stash at tight end, who you trying to get, who you're gonna spend your fab on, because there's quite a bit. I mean, Juwan Johnson, he got 11 targets in um, that Saints opener. You got Brenton Strange, who had four targets but 4 catches for like 50 something yards. Um, Zach Ertz is still always involved. So, and then the other one is Fannin, right? I mean, that guy looked like an absolute monster on the Browns, and it scares anybody who has David Njoku because you're like, who the hell is this Fannin guy? Well, guess what? He's just got 9 targets. So,
Damn.
keep an eye on those guys. These guys are big athletic profiles. Theo Johnson's another one. There's quite a bit of tight ends that are out there that you want to take a dive on. You don't want to be late on. I know in our league, Jake Ferguson's out there. Dak didn't have touchdowns, but he will. Javonte Williams isn't going to be on the goal line every freaking play. I promise you that. Dak throws it out there a lot. So there's these tight ends that are just out there that you should look into stashing. Even if you have a decent tight end, which not a lot of people do, look to vulture that from your pool. Look at your team. Look who's going to need a tight end. Somebody's going to need a tight end, and vulture that tight end. Stash him. Use that as a trade value. If you have ETN and you have a good tight end, guess what? You got yourself some great trade value down the road, because ETN's obviously a clear number one now, and you get yourself a decent tight end who has back-to-back decent weeks. You have a great trade system for anybody who needs a tight end, desperate need, or anybody who needs a running back. You got a great package there. So I'll kick to one of you guys, and we can elaborate on
real
that.
quick before I pass it to Nick. I want to remind our viewers, it's right there, folks. We are doing this every week. We're looking at everything. We're looking at all the edges, all the way for wire picks, and we're going to be here for you every week. We're doing it ourselves with all our fantasy teams and all our leagues. We're covering all this stuff. You're going to find it live right here. Nick, I want to segue into something that you said. If you want to talk about this real quick, the rookies. It looked like the league was trying to feature the rookies with Mbuku, and as far as how their storylines. Travis Hunter, Teteron McMillan, Mbuku. There's a lot of rookies stuff that was happening, and some of them showed up. And so, one of them was Ashton Genty. A lot of us were talking about that, and he's your Raiders, and a lot of fantasy points came from Las Vegas this weekend. So we'll segue into that with the Raiders and some rookies, and then with the end here, guys, we'll see what else we need to cover, what Jake has to say, and then we're gonna go over our 10-team lineup. The Sports Ranter is gonna be responsible for my 10-team lineup every week. We're gonna figure this out together.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting weekend, but I just want to caution everybody. It's week one. Do not overreact one way or the other.
Yeah.
Don't get too high. Don't get too
Absolutely.
low. It's a long season. Everybody's making adjustments. This is like preseason game 4. A lot of these stats, don't look at stats. Stats don't mean anything right now, week one. I know we're all in fantasy. That's what we want to look at. It means nothing. It's going to come back to the median, and trust your draft. Trust your draft. Don't overreact. Don't go drop your number 3 receiver for Quinn Johnson, because you're going to regret that.
Keep fucking Higgins.
Yeah. So trust your draft. It's going to work out. But the one draft pick that I would regret, and I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel after one game. And speaking of the rookies, is Caleb Johnson and the Steelers. People were drafting him before Jaylen Warren. Like, some people drafted him in like the 6th round. Like, he wasn't even in the game plan. Like, it's one thing to like not produce, that's fine, like whatever, but like to not be involved. Kenneth Gainwell got more carries in both of them, more percentage-wise utilization. Jaylen Warren's going to be the PPR back out of the backfield, passing downs. Like, it did not look like they even want him in the game. And when you score, what was it, 30-something points, and Rodgers and everybody's got that whole offense moving, and you're not even sniffing it. I would be a little cautious with that. I think it's because there's running backs. It's not like, oh, we want to kind of break them in, work them in. Like, that doesn't happen with running backs. Like, usually you got the talent, you're in, If you don't, you don't. So that's the one rookie I would worry about. All the other ones, I think they did what rookies do week one. Some a little better than more. Speaking of like Aston Genty, like you know, the Patriots had their game plan. He wasn't going to beat them. They had five in the box at the. I watched the whole game. They had stacked the box at the beginning. They said Genty's not going to beat us. We're going to make Gino beat us, and that's exactly what Gino did. That's why Gino had 360 yards or whatever it was. Like I don't expect Gino to throw for almost 400 yards every game. It's not going to happen. But the way the Patriots, that's why you can't overreact. The way the Patriots are playing that game, and someone who watched the entire game, and Vrabel being a defensive minded head coach, they are not going to give up the run. They made a conscious effort that we are not going to let them run the ball. And that's fine. We picked them apart with play action. Play action, play action, play action, play action. They were biting on the run the entire game, and Gino was just picking them apart across the board. And he was spreading the ball around. Bowers, even Myers got involved, all that. So, with rookies like that, you just got to look at the matchup, look at who they played, and just you want to look at the utilization rate. Genty was in there pretty much the entire game. Okay, so yeah, he only averaged 2 point something yards a carry, but he fell into the end zone. They're going to use him on the goal line back. He's going to have 10 plus touchdowns. I could almost guarantee that. And we'll see where his yardage comes from. McMillan, same thing. He had one great one-handed catch on the like Bryce Young's got to get a little better. Like Ben said, hopefully it'll come to fruition. But like McMillan's talent, you saw it. You saw it there. And Buka with the Buccaneers, you saw it there.
Yeah.
Marion Hampton, same thing, huh?
A Mecca, a booyah.
A Mecca, a booyah, a Mecca.
Booyah.
Sorry, a Mecca.
Come on, Jake. Where are
And
you on
so
this one?
even Amaro Hampton didn't have a good week one, but same thing. Their game plan was, hey, the Chiefs could stop the run. Well, their corners are all new. Their secondary not that great anymore. We're just gonna pick them apart in the pass. So it is a week to week league. It is a matchup based league. So if you've drafted a rookie other than Caleb Johnson, because I don't think he's gonna pan out, I think all these other rookies are gonna pan out. They're gonna be just fine. Just again, they're working them into the system, and it's basically think about it like preseason game 4, and then as the matchups go, teams are gonna shine, and you'll be just fine. Barring injury, of course.
Real quick.
I agree with you 100% on Ashton Genty. I drafted him in I think 2 leagues or whatever. But and Omari and Hampton. Caleb Johnson. That doesn't look promising. R.J. Harvey. But I'm wondering. I want to get your guys' take because there's some real. I know it's just week 1 and it's not time to panic, but there are some really high draft picks that I'm wondering if you guys would be shaking a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs. Worried or are you guys not worried? That offense did not look the same. Okay. Devon A-Chain. Is that
Who
offense?
did they play?
Worried.
Who did they play?
They played the Colts.
No, but I mean, sorry, I'm going back to the Lions. They played Green Bay. Green
Okay.
Bay's solid. They just got Micah Parsons. They're playing on a high because Micah Parsons is there. Division game in Green Bay. Was it in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Green Bay, yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of week 1 division game on the road. You're
Not
going
worried
to look
about
ugly. Not too worried about it.
Devon A-Chain.
Worried.
The Miami, we're a little worried about that one.
Everybody on the Dolphins, be very cautious.
Yeah.
It looks like, and Andrew, he's your boy, but like,
McDaniel?
I don't know. It kind of looks like McDaniel.
He wants to be fired, bro.
That's what I'm saying. He's lost
the
the team, and we were ranting and raving about this guy. I think he's a good coach. I thought he was a good coach a couple years ago, but again, the whole players coach, the whole cool mentality. If you don't keep the structure, it's cool to like be buddy with everybody, but if you don't have a foundational structure, things can get away from you. Players take advantage of you. Players don't respect you. Players do whatever the hell they want. And once you lose the locker room, you can't all of a sudden be strict. You can't go from like soft to firm. You can't do that. You can be a firm coach. You can be a strict coach and loosen it up. That works. You can't be a loose coach and then try to be strict because the players don't respect you already.
Yeah.
They don't see you as that strict coach. So
No, for sure.
I don't
For
know what
sure.
happened in Miami with Mike McDaniels, but like it looks like he's lost that team
Well, I mean,
after week one.
it sucks because I mean, you got a guy like Tua who can't stay healthy on the field, this, that, and the other, and so your offensive production is basically all on him, no matter what happens, right? Like Mike McDaniel, he can be one of the best offensive minded coaches in the league, which I still do think he is that. But when you have incompetent quarterback play, and your team and everybody around you looks at you like, bro, where's your magic? And you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball.
Yeah, but he had
Like
Tua in an MVP
in the first two
conversation two
years,
years ago.
in the first 2 years, Tua was an absolute monster in those 2 years before all the health and all the concussions and this, that, and the other. When he was on the field, they were balling. And it's like it's been inconsistent play, this, that, and the other.
Well,
It
look.
looks like he
Tyreek
has
Hill,
no time back
Well,
there. I
look.
mean, you can't throw the ball if you're getting lit up.
Yeah, but
Jalen.
that also doesn't mean you let Daniel Jones look like a top five quarterback. So
No, I
that's
agree.
where you lose the team. That's fine if you want to struggle offensively and Tua's coming back from injury and all that stuff. But when your entire team is quitting and letting Daniel Jones just look like he's phenomenal,
Yeah.
and don't go pick him up, please. Don't. Like it's not. That's not gonna. You've lost the team in my mind. You've
Yeah,
lost the
no,
team.
like Waddle's hurt every other game. Tyreek Hill can't keep his mind on the field. Like he just got another DB case. Like this team is in absolute shambles. Like point blank, period. It really is, and it's just a matter of weeks before McDaniels does get fired because they have to do something to save face on that culture and that team. So, like I said, it's bad circles around the Dolphins right now. And real quick, Nick, to ask your Caleb Johnson situation, I got 2 words: Arthur Smith. Okay, Arthur Smith is dog shit as a head coach, terrible as a coordinator. We saw this with Bijan Robinson in his rookie year. It was Tyler Algier, Tyler Algier, Tyler Algier. Where the hell is Bijan Robinson? It's the same thing that's going on right now. I don't know with
Okay,
Arthur
well,
Smith.
I mean, I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
disagree, but
I don't know if it's
everybody
Arthur
was
Smith and
drafting
he's like,
Caleb Johnson like he was a dude. So
yeah,
So,
I don't know if it's Arthur Smith saying, "Oh, you got to prove it to me as a rookie before you can go in there and get snaps," or what it is. But it's the same thing that we saw with Bijan Robinson in his rookie year, and I don't know. It might change, it might not, but be cautious on that one too.
well, guys,
I
go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just gonna say really quick. I think we forget, like, the media really hypes up the draft and the rookies because in the off season that's kind of all that's going on.
Yeah.
And I think we forget that this is still like the professional football. These coaches, it's just unless you're spending a top 10, top 15 pick on a running back like Genty or whoever, you're not passing up.
what if he can't memorize the playbook? What if he can't pick up a blitz to save his life?
Yeah,
You're not gonna, we don't know. We don't know.
they all
All
look
I
good.
know is he had nothing to do with that game, and they scored 32 points and looked great
They
on
all look-
offense.
They
I
all
would
look
be
good
worried.
in training camp and in the offseason. They all look great. But, at the end of the day, these coaches, they want to win games. They want the guys that have been out there, experienced. It's like, I think Caleb Johnson will get his time at some point. But, we got to remember who Kenneth Gainwell is. And Jalen Warren, is not going to be a workhorse back with 300 carries. I think Caleb Johnson will get his time, but it's probably not worth it at this point to hold on to him for when that comes. So.
Just want to continue, guys, to remind our viewers that we're full go here with fantasy, and we want to continue to give you that right information and figure out how to help our lineups. And so, one way that we're going to do that. Thank you guys for your take on what happened week one and giving us your insights. But the nitty gritty is start sits, and so if you guys can help me out real quick, we're going to take some few minutes here to do a little bit of a share for my 10 team. I will try to zoom this in so you guys can see it better. I hope you guys can see it. All right. Baker Mayfield, quarterback. I got Josh Jacobs, James Cook. That's my running backs. I got Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Travis Kelce, Chuba Hubbard in the flex. Okay. We might have to do some moves with my defense because I don't like the Commanders versus Green Bay. So we might have to look online for that. But on the bench, here it is. Okay, what we had last week, Drew, you might like this. My question to you guys is for my flex. Chubud's a little suspect. They didn't use him that much. Carolina, I don't know. They need to lean on him. But I like my running back in the flex. Or do I go DJ Moore, who had 22 points, or Debo Samuel, who had 22 points? that's what I want to know from you guys in this freaking tumultuous 10-team league. In my flex, if there's any other changes, I like it the way it is, but would you take out Chuba for DJ Moore or Debo Samuel? Drew, go.
I'm looking at the matchup right now. Debo's got Green Bay, and it looks like Chuba has Arizona. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And he had a walk-off overtime touchdown against them last year.
I would probably keep. I think the game will be a little bit more competitive than it was last week. At least I would hope so. But I would probably keep Chuba in there just off of like volume wise and touch wise. Like, yeah, he might not get all the run, but he always is good for receptions. I'm assuming this is a PPR league.
Yes.
I would probably keep Chuba in one more time. If Debo continues, then okay, make that switch. But I would keep it the way it is for now. Who else do you have at receiver? Go up a little bit.
At receiver, I have Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah, you're not moving those guys.
Not moving them, huh?
Yeah, you're
That's
not moving
fine.
those guys. Yeah, I would keep it just like the way it is now. And then if like I said, Chuba was still serviceable. Chuba was still a decent play.
Yeah, click on him. How many points did he get in your league? I think he still got like 16, right?
Last
Click.
week for the game.
In my league, I know he got like, I mean, I'm a standard
20
league,
points, Justin Jefferson last week.
No,
No,
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba,
Chuba,
16.
15.
No.
That's projected. Go
No,
click on Chuba.
this was supposed to be last week's. I did it.
No, click on Chuba.
15 points.
last in my league,
on.
he
You
got
got 17-9.
17.
Yeah,
17,
You
right?
got
Still
17-9.
solid.
yeah.
So, he got 16 carries. That's plenty. He's still part of the passing game a little bit. 3 for 32. That's when he got his touchdown. I mean,
I personally would let Chuba ride one more week. If Debo pops
this is
off again,
PPR, right?
Yes.
yeah. If Debo pops off again, then okay, let Debo go. But I would expect Terry McLaurin to get more than 4 targets this week. I would expect him to be more involved in the play in the game script. I think Debo would take a little bit step back if McLaurin get more targets. I would just wait one more week. If Debo pops off again, okay, we know what we got going forward. But
Right.
I would wait one more week. That's just me. That's me personally.
Jake, any takes?
Debo against Green Bay, I'm not taking that. I like the matchup against Arizona with Chuba Hubbard, and we're talking like everyone's saying, give Chuba one more week. Like he had a good week.
Right.
16 carries.
No, he had a great week.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Chuba's the guy there. Like,
Yes, he is.
Carolina finds a way to look awful every single week of every year, but there's. I'm sorry.
Week one only.
Yeah, we'll see. But no,
I'm leaning towards DJ Moore. I know you guys haven't even brought it up, but I would start DJ Moore.
I need to see more from Caleb Williams, and I think if the Lions, if it was just a fluke against Green Bay or whatever, that the Lions are coming back. It's at home. The Lions are at home. Like I'm not going to try and risk DJ Moore.
The Lions don't have a great defense. Okay. I don't know. He's the number one there. He's the number one there. And they played against the Vikings. I think the Vikings defense is much better than Detroit's defense. He still got, like Ben said, over 22 points. Like I don't know. It's a PPR league. I always lean a little bit more receivers in a flex in a PPR. Chuba's not really involved in the passing game that much. He got the 3 receptions with the 1 touchdown. Are you going to rely that Chuba's going to get a receiving touchdown every week? Because if he doesn't get a receiving touchdown, like I said, I'm playing devil advocate here. I think he had a good week.
Yeah.
But how many receiving touchdowns does Chuba get every year? It's probably not going to happen.
No, but I think when they realize that Bryce Young, if they can't pass the ball, Chuba's going to get a ton of volume. And Arizona, it's strictly matchup here. Now, Nick, don't get me wrong. I drafted DJ Moore in 3 of my 5 leagues. I actually think the way that Ben Johnson, uses, gadget plays with specific players and stuff.
Arizona's defense is an unknown right now. They got a lot of. I don't know how good they can be. We'll find out. That's why week 1 it's hard to respond.
Yeah,
they could be a sneaky, decent defense. They suck against the tight end like they always do. But other than that, they tend to I mean, they got a lot of new faces there, so
That's why I
I
asked the
just don't know how to
question.
react.
That's why I asked the question because I think it's a hard ask. It's the volume for Chuba versus the PPR reception points. Like,
I think
where
Chuba's
do
the
I go?
safer pick.
I
Chuba's
appreciate
probably
that.
the safest if you're looking for upside. If like you're an underdog right now in that matchup, DJ Moore is a good upside play because dude, they even had DJ Moore doing some backfield carries
Right,
last
Yep.
week,
right.
and so like DJ Moore will definitely have that like involvement of just kind of how they used Jamison Williams last year, just like all over the field type stuff.
He's gonna
Um,
be more like Ahmad St. Brown. Trust me. I think DJ Moore gonna keep going, dude. It's Ben Johnson now. It's not Matt Eberflus. It's Ben
Yeah,
Johnson.
but it's
He
Caleb
likes to
Williams.
use his
Wow.
best guys. He's gonna get the best guys the ball. We
This,
know that. We know that in Detroit. He's not gonna be messing around with homeboy over here and hey, Amon St. Brown,
what's your matchup
Gibbs,
look like, Ben? Who are you playing
Montgomery.
against?
Let's go. They're
Who's your
playing
matchup
against
look like, Ben?
Detroit in
No.
Detroit.
Who's Ben matching up against? Like,
this
is his
week,
matchup? Is he
Oh,
going against a
yeah.
dog? Like, is he going
Are you
against a guy who has
projected to
this
win or
insane?
lose?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
me,
Yeah,
Yes,
on your team, are you projected to win or lose in the
I'm
league?
probably projected to lose, dude. It's ridiculous. Like,
then throw DJ Moore in there and get some juice, get upside.
anyways, guys, this is why I love this part because we get to discuss all these things, the in-depth, the teams, the coordinators, what's happening, the matchups. I think this is going to be a small feature for our show every week, just to kind of get our minds working with how we're going to set our lineups. I really appreciate you guys' help. But for now, I'll let you guys know we're going to go with what we choose. We're going to go with Chuba, you guys, and then we'll go with that. And then, we don't have time, but I'm going to change out that defense. I don't like Commanders versus Packers, so we're going to change that up. If you guys agree with that as well, we'll see. There's
Yeah,
probably a better option. But to close it out, guys, week one. So excited that we're here. It's going to be a long season. But is there anything else? Is there anything else itching at you guys that we want to look at going into week two? Is there anything else that we should be anticipating, Jake,
Uh,
going forward?
I don't know. I would say this. It was very interesting at the end of the first week when you look at all the top, where everybody finished, position wise, your top 10 running backs and receivers and this and that. You had a lot of players that finished in those top 10s that weren't drafted or drafted very late. Um, and it's just pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to who's getting targets, who's getting playing time, because it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like Michael Pittman, for example, very interesting. Like that guy was left for dead. He was late in drafts and all that, and he looked like a big part of the offense. Nick, I know you voiced your opinion on it, but Quentin Johnson didn't just break away for a long touchdown and have a big day on a fluke play. He was designed into the offense.
Yeah,
He was planned. He targeted. To be used
Okay.
in the offense.
So just to push back, is Omar Hampton going to be part of the out offense?
Sure, he is. But
Okay,
you go up against
so there has to be a trade-off though, right?
There is.
Because Omar Hampton was not used in that game at all.
But Nick, listen though.
You
I'm
can't
not
you
saying,
can't get both.
No,
Dude, the Chargers are not going to have an offense where Conkey goes off, Keenan
Nick,
Allen keeps doing his thing,
I
Omar
understand.
Hampton.
I understand, but I understand. But if you're the guy that owns Xavier Worthy, I'm saying Quentin Johnson is a good guy to go out and try and pick up because he's on every waiver wire.
If
that
you
makes
didn't
you
draft
start
any
your
other
play.
receivers and you have to go pick up Johnson, then you drafted wrong. That's what I'm. You should have depth on your roster.
I would
better than
disagree, Nick, and I'm gonna talk this being the Chargers hater on this podcast. Okay, I still have to be unbiased and give a good fantasy perspective. They are different this year. I'm not saying it was the Chiefs. Like Herbert and Quentin Allen look different. You were not seeing that at all throughout the whole season.
He dropped a touchdown in the end zone.
I just see what
he's
Jake,
gonna keep dropping balls, and Herbert's gonna stop trusting him.
There was an obvious difference in what Jake is saying. They're obviously featuring him. Let's see if it's just a week one thing. But yes,
I understand there's a lot of mouths to feed for an offense that typically wants to build around the run. Although Harbaugh loves Herbert. Harbaugh loves Herbert. So I think they're going to.
And he had the least amount of passing yards in his career last year.
I understand
you guys know that, right?
Yes, I understand that.
Design.
But
their game plan was
trash.
We're gonna pass our D line. Their D line is better than our O line. We're gonna pass the ball. That's what their game plan was. and they shred that secondary up.
Okay. I'm talking to the people that are needing that receiver to pick up on the waiver wire.
I've got Worthy.
Quentin Johnson is not going to be a bad waiver wire pickup. Obviously, I agree with Nick. You shouldn't have drafted him in the 3rd round, but if you're going to want a guy that's going to get 5 or 6 targets a week, that's, with a good quarterback and a good offense, go pick up Quentin Johnson. That's what I'm saying. Going on the waiver wire, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm very interested. He's 4% rostered right now on ESPN.
You're right.
See how much that jumps up after this week.
Just to ensure to our fantasy managers, yes, it's week 1. It's not to panic. You're going to see the flow. We're going to talk about all this stuff, but we're most likely going to go with the guys that we drafted the next 2 to 3 weeks, right? But you're going to see the panic mode is going to start to happen around week 3 or week 4 when you're 0-3 or your guys aren't producing. You're going to see it, folks.
I'm dropping T. Higgins for
yeah. Real quick, Drew, close us out.
You can't drop him.
Real quick. Before we go too much involved too, history says that your waiver wire pickups in your first few weeks are substantially greater than in any other weeks. Like the first 2 or 3 weeks is what's going to make a big difference, right? Because after that, more and more people are scraping the waiver wire, trying to find anything and everything. So if you do your research now, and you do your in-depth research now, and you look at behind-the-scenes stuff, or you look at snap percentages and targets and this, that, and the other, and you do that kind of homework, this is where it pays off. Now, I'm not telling you to go dump 40% of your fab on Quentin Johnson. I'm not saying to do that. But is he somebody who you can stash on your bench and see what happens? Absolutely. Go take a 10% if you want, like a $10 or $8 shot on him and see what happens, because yeah, he can be a home run style player. Like, he absolutely can be. He's not going to go off and be a guy who's going to be a consistent player week in and week out, because everybody on that, like we already said, everybody on that Chargers offense is going to get volume. Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen, those guys.
Unless Keenan Allen gets hurt, 35-year-old Keenan Allen.
Hey, absolutely. That's why I'm saying it's worth a stash. It's absolutely worth a stash. He's 32 years old, and it's like, okay, he's going to be needed in that offense. He's going to have weeks where he can blow up. And if you can have that on your bench and you have bye weeks, or you're like Jake said, you're thrusted into playing somebody over Xavier Worthy, he's a guy who can potentially blow up on your flex position. You take shots on those kind of guys right here, right now, early in the season, because this is where it matters, because not everybody has the in-depth knowledge that you do. You're just your normal fantasy football player, and you're just like, oh, well,
maybe
I need
you're
somebody.
like me, Nick, and your number 1 receiver is Tyreek Hill, and number 2 is Xavier Worthy.
Ew, gross.
So maybe no matter what, you have to go pick up Quentin fucking Johnson to give yourself a chance
you
in the
can be
standing league
desperate.
when you lose by 1 point against fucking Brian. Anyways, folks, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Nick, Jake, Drew for bringing your energy here again every Tuesday, 6 p.m., giving the information to our host. Join us on Sunday around 4:45 or 5 o'clock for live Sunday reaction rants. It really is fun. You're really seeing our juices flow, and it really is fun. But like I said, wow, that's something new this season. But thank you to our viewers. Thank you, Seth, for being our number 1 chatter to all of our million viewers. You're our best chatter here. Thank you,
AJ Brown
guys.
did it again, Seth.
AJ Brown. So with that said, thank you, everybody. Thanks to our viewers. Peace with the journey. See you next time. See you on Sunday.
Love you guys. See you guys next week.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care, brother. Oh, man.
Awesome stuff.
That shit's fun, dude.
I love it, dude.
Man, I wish I can come every Tuesday, bro. But it'll be cool to be Sunday.
God will make it happen, man. Things will happen, and you'll come whenever you
Never stop,
can.
forget it if I want it.
Appreciate you,
To myself a
Yes, sir.
promise.
Take care.
I won't quit, keep going
Bye.
till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.